design manager for the new Mustang. I want to take you today through the process of basically designing the new Mustang. So right here, you see a board with basically where everything starts is from a sketch. Our ideation comes together. We have like probably 700 sketches at the beginning. You can imagine every single designer wants to be part of the new Mustang. It's a quite big deal for us, and you can see right here, we start with the sketches, and we select these sketches, and we narrow them down as we go further. So basically, you can see some of the themes which we took to the next step, and then we start refining these sketches, and we get more realistic right here. And we get a little bit more in Photoshop, so you can see right on the bottom. So we get more and more realistic. What happens in that process? Basically, you see right here, these are the final themes which we chose, and we showed to our senior management. We have 3 final themes in the Mustang. This was a theme A, B, and C, which we had as a full-size models, which I'm going to explain to you in a little while. This is our final theme. This was a theme A, which actually won the internal research, and we took it to the next step. But this was good exploration for us because we could explore the key elements of the Mustang. We had different side view treatments, we had different glass openings, as you can see here, right here, or this one had D-pillar, but today's car, or also no pivot D-pillar, C-pillar right here, so it's a more traditional way. So what we do usually, once we chose this theme to be the leading one, we took some of the elements, like the greenhouse, the profile of this one, the fastback, and we continue working on this model. So behind you, there's an actual clay model where everything, what you see right here, all the 2-dimensional work gets translated into 3-dimensional work behind you. It's a clay model, and where we as designers work together with, this is Larry Pelowski, he's a master modeler. Him and his team basically work together close to the design to get these sketches translated into 3-dimensional shape, as you see right here. So what we do, basically, we tape up these lines which are in the sketches, and we want to get as close as possible to mimic the sketch which you see behind you into the 3-dimension. The tone model, the clay models are very a good tool for us to basically evaluate our surfacing, evaluate our proportions, so you can actually walk around this clay, you can look at the surfacing, you can actually touch it, you can feel it, you can paint these models. So there's quite a lot you can do with these models. So it took us basically about 2 years in clay to find the final theme. And from there on, we developed another year, basically refining and getting all the details, because you can imagine the car design is very complex. There's a lot of engineering input which we get, and we have to work very closely with them together. And there's a lot of details as well: headlights, taillights, series differentiations, wheels. So there's a lot of details. It's not just one-man job. This is our race red. The car is spec'd as a GT version. Then we go more into details where you see the position of the camera, you see more the badging details. So that gets very, very close to the production car. You can open the doors. This is plexiglass windows. This is again a fiberglass model. So it's a full model. It's not drivable, but it looks and feels like a real car. So it sits right here as a GT spec 20-inch wheels. Just to brief you on the new car. Basically, the new car from today versus today's car, we lowered the greenhouse about 35 millimeters. We introduced the fastback, so we shifted the entire greenhouse more rearward. We widened the car about 50 millimeters. That gives us the freedom to have more powerful haunches, more wider shoulders. As you can see to the rear end, we have a new technologies, which is indirect firing LED taillights, which on the other side give us some freedom to basically have these 3-dimensional elements which you can actually grab them. This is, I think, is very cool and unique, and it's a very distinctive element for the Mustang through 50 years. If you look through the history, we took the 69 as inspiration, and we thought, there is something which Mustang owned since 50 years, and we wanted to bring it in a new era, but execute it in a very modern way. There's a very functional rear diffuser, which is not just for styling, it's actually very functional. It creates a downforce generator right here on the bottom. So we beautifully executed it, I think, with the blackout, which on the other side takes some weight out of the car. The other side combines this aerodynamic feature which runs through the entire car, to the rocker, to the side of the car, and goes all the way to the front end. particular model is a 1968 Shelby model. There's a trapezoidal grille right here. So you see it in the new, basically a new interpretation of this grille. Again, what I was telling you guys about the backlights, about the taillights, about the tri-bar, we thought it would be really cool to have a signature element on the front as well, which are these shark gills, which actually light up at night. So you're going to always recognize there's a Mustang coming at you, and once it passes you, you're going to see there's a Mustang in front of you. And I mean, there's also homage on the 1965 where we had the indents and the sheet metal. They've been actually right here in the sheet metal. So we did it more modern, which they actually light up, and I think that's a really cool feature and a signature for the new Mustang. We didn't want to be retro. But we know what a Mustang is, so we did say we're gonna pick some elements. We didn't want to end up to be like a theme park of Mustang cues, like a C-scoop on the body side, the body color B-pillar. So there's a lot of cues which we tried, and it was actually, our goal was more at taking it away and what is recognizable in the Mustang. So it starts first of all with proportion. So the first proportion, the Mustangs from the 60s, a very long hood, a very short deck, a greenhouse shift to the rearward, and very selfish cabin. That was the basic setup for this car, which actually, when you squint your eyes, you see from a distance there's a Mustang. You see the silhouette of the car, and you know it's a Mustang. The sharp nose. So there's quite a few elements which tells you this is a Mustang. And then we went into the details, like I was just talking about, the headlights, the taillights as well, and you know, the sculpture on the body. This is all muscle car features, which are very Mustang-like, but not in terms of just copying and pasting. It's more about reinventing them.
When we first theme, we'll do a whole door panel pretty much. I mean, we'll sculpt most of that
from hand.
From hand, and then we'll just keep refining it, scanning it, refining it. Same with exterior. Exterior will start with like a kind of a milled out base, and then you'll just kind of transform that into taking away, adding clay to certain spots.
So it really is a meeting point and a conglomerate of old and new.
Yeah, it's all three. It's all digital, hands-on, and the designer will kind of orchestrate that whole thing. And then engineering's involved with it too. Engineering, like certain, there's points all over the interior that they have to meet for safety standards or engineering comfort standards, you know. So there's guidelines on all the information. So a lot of times you'll start the sculpt, the interior, you might be 20 mils into a zone where you can't be, so they'll have to like, okay, we got to push this back 20 mils to get to our correct zone, you know. So it's really loose at first.
Okay.
So what they do is they start real loose, 25 mils off, and then by the time you get to 3 stages beyond that, you could be like 3 mils off, and they just keep narrowing that down until your design intent meets engineering requirements and everything else.
All right, I'm Russell Sims. I'm a digital sculptor here. I actually have a very cool job. I get to take these guys, like awesome ideas and themes, and put it together with engineering requirements and ergonomics, and make a 3D model. This is a software called NAIAS, and it's very cool because we can quickly change things and try different things out, whether it be like different color schemes, like doing something like that, or Michael or Sewan or whatever could sit down with me, and we can grab points on here, and we can sculpt right here in space and say, okay, well, we really want this to have more crown, so we're going to move it out. What's kind of cool is this is very collaborative. We have designers, we have engineers, we have the clay sculptors, and we all have to work closely together. Like, I bounce this to like the clay side, they do work, they sweeten up surfaces, they bounce it back to me, we change things. I put in like some more technical things, and we take this data, we mill it out, we make hard parts like this, where we grow out of the things on here, and later on you'll see where this is taken to the extreme, where you have a clay model with the hard parts and real materials like aluminum and leather like we have in the car. We make these models that we take to show people, to gauge the reaction and show off, you know, the passion we had and these great designs, so people can really get a real feel for it. From here, it's super important to get it into the clay because you really want to get the tactile feel. I mean, you can see the themes here, you can see like how exciting it is, but you really want to feel it and see the volumes because that's what you're going to experience in real life, and that's really what the clay guys give us over there.
All of this is done at all of our different shops. They wire everything back here is wired. It's running off of a battery to get as close as we can get to what production is going to look like. And then after this stage, we get to, we do a lot of different quarter bucks to represent the different series, and finally we get to an inside-outside model, which is in the middle of the room there, and that's when all the exterior stuff comes together, all the interior stuff, and it's our first full vehicle that people can get in, and everything feels pretty close to what you're going to get in production.